Metal.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Good morning.
Just want to know if everybody can hear us.
Yep. Yes.
Yep. Fabulous.
Wonderful.
Yep.
That's great. Welcome.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to get started here. So I am Kelly.
And I am Kelly's business partner, Krista.
And we're Designed to Sell. So we're so happy that you've joined us for this Zoom call. We're going to kind of go through some of the offerings that we have, but really this is about virtual staging, virtual tours, and real estate photography, some of the newer offerings that we have rolled out. So we'll get right into it.
Okay, so we know we are currently living in a different climate right now, and we've done many brokerage presentations in the past, obviously face to face. And with this slide, it used to say over 90% of buyers look online before buying a home. Well, we know now that we can safely say all buyers are now looking online before buying a home. So having that competitive edge is definitely going to be key to set you above and beyond the rest of the competition.
Okay, so why partner with us? So first and foremost, we are locally owned and operated. We operate in Durham region. We do have a further reach, obviously, with everything going virtually. We can reach further now too. Anyone who doesn't know anything about us, we are interior designers first. That's our background and our education. So we come with, we bring those philosophies and all of the tools that we've learned through interior design experience and education into our staging business, whether that's real life staging, staging. We make sure that it's property specific. So what we mean by that is, if it's a heritage home, we're not gonna stage it whether virtually or in real life with very modern furniture, for instance. When we are talking real life staging, quality inventory, we own all of our own inventory, but virtually staging, the inventory on our virtually staging site is just wonderful as well. And we're pros at having those challenging conversations with your clients in terms of what they need to do to ready their homes for sale. We are members of the Real Estate Staging Association, or RESA. They are much more prominent in the U.S. and they partner quite closely with the Real Estate Association in the U.S. We haven't solidified that union in Canada quite so much, but we're working on that. And we have won some Best of House awards in 2019 and 2017, 2018, I believe. And lastly, we're Graber window covering dealers, but we won't really get into that during this presentation.
And just quickly, we failed to just put this request out before we started, was if it's okay with everybody, if you can, mute your microphone while we're doing the presentation. But if you do have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them as we kind of go through. If you want to use that chat box, we can address some of the questions. However, we're going to open it up at the end as well. So if you do have, a lot of questions, we like to think we can probably get through most of your answers anyways through the presentation. But if you do have any questions, there will be a time at the end as well where we can chat about it. So further, to talk about why to partner with us, and we'll just review this very quickly. We just want to give you a little bit of a background on who's talking to you right now. So what we can offer your sellers is home staging e-consultations and virtual consultations. This has really taken over the industry right now, as I'm sure it has for all of you as well. So we are able to do this in a couple different ways that we will get into. Occupied or vacant staging we do offer. Obviously, we do not offer in-person staging at this time for obvious reasons. Virtual staging and professional real estate photography and virtual tours. So in terms of the virtual side of things, we can assist your clients with virtual consultations, virtual staging, real estate photography. And again, we are taking that sort of project by project, as well as virtual tours. For your buyers, we can also offer virtual interior design work, as well as virtual consultations. And we do partner with some realtors that like to offer a gift to their buyers when they buy the home. So that's also an option. And we'll just skip the window coverings.
Okay, so getting into virtual consultations. So what is a virtual consultation? First of all, it's safety for all. So everyone's still in their home, working with their computers. We're giving some advice and counsel on items that they can repair, replace, perhaps upgrade. Any recommendations on changing furniture layout or removing furniture from rooms, that kind of thing. And it's being about or preparing in advance of the property before it goes on the market, and also preparing for photos. So we like to make sure that certainly when we're taking the photos or when another photographer is brought in, that property is looking sort of picture perfect, and that's what the consultation will help achieve.
Okay, and how it works. So virtual consultations can be done using essentially any mobile app that you or your homeowner may have on their phone. Anything that can help us to virtually walk through that home. We can do that through FaceTime, Skype. Gosh, there's so many out there now, Zoom, House Party, you name it, and whatever works. Now that's for a virtual consultation. We do also offer e-consultations, which would be taking photographs of the home in a specific way. And we would send out documentation on how to take those photographs prior to the consultation. And then those photos can be submitted to us through a sharing file, whether that's Dropbox, WeTransfer, Google Drive, again, whatever works. And then we review the photos and send out an official report on that. And again, this is where we can have those challenging conversations. We typically do that in person. Right now we can do that virtually and ensure that the home is ready for photography to still present the best that it can. And again, a detailed report is sent, and the fee for that is $230 for either the virtual or the e-consultation.
All right, so this is getting into the virtual staging now. So why virtually stage? Once again, safety for all. It's about a merchandising strategy. So it's making sure that the home, that the rooms within the home, people understand what they are. Is it a living room? Is it a bedroom? Is it a dining room? And how they can place the furniture, what they can do with that room. So we want to make sure that they can, many people just can't visualize empty spaces. And they can't picture that, in fact, a queen bed or a king bed could fit inside that room. So it's assisting the buying community to visualize that property. It also creates an emotional attachment to the space. So first impressions are made within 10 seconds, and we want to make sure that it's a positive first impression. And it's lifestyle and demographic appeal. So this room on the right that you're seeing is virtually staged. You're going to see it in some before and afters. We have some before and afters coming up for you now.
So obviously, virtually staging will allow somebody to visualize the property's potential. So here on the left, you can see the family room professionally photographed in its natural state. And on the right is that family room has first been edited. Wall paneling has been removed. Walls have been painted in a neutral color. Flooring has been changed and edited. And the light fixture has also been edited. On top of that, it's been staged. So again, we would call this, I don't want to say extreme stage, but it would be your full gamut stage where it's had edits and upgrades as well as the stage.
And this is another photo. So this has had no edits, so it's simply virtually staged. So we've taken the professional photographer's photo, and we have input furniture and artwork and accessories into the photo, overlaid the photo with virtually staged items.
And again, here is another. This is a master bedroom. This has only been staged. The only edit that has been done or upgrade is in the light fixture. Otherwise, everything has remained as it is. Another thing to note as well is that we try to scale all of the furniture to realistically fit the room. So that we're not showing a really tiny bed in a small room and giving that sort of false representation. Another thing you'll note as well, on the bottom left it says master bedroom, and bottom right it says virtually staged master bedroom. And this is how we recommend you promote the listing if you are using virtual staging, that you do show that room in its natural state, and you do indicate that it has been virtually staged, just for integrity, but you are still showing the potential of that room.
Okay, once again, another room. Have not done anything. There have been no edits to this room in terms of light fixtures or paint colors or flooring, anything like that. It's simply virtually staged with a more of a young person's, perhaps a child's room.
And once again, another bedroom. Now these photos here were photographed with a smartphone, and you can see the difference versus the professional photographs. They're brighter. They're shot on a wide angle lens. However, and we will get into this, we are working with smartphone photos now as we realize that the need is there in some instances.
This is another example of some edits that we have done. So when we're talking about doing edits, these are things that we would recommend to homeowners. If we were going in and doing a consultation with them, we would have recommended to this particular homeowner that the paint color be changed to something more neutral, and a light fixture be changed. So we're depicting all of our recommendations in this virtually staged office. And then we just virtually staged over top of the edits.
And here is the last one. So this is a little bit more of an urban living sort of condo, vacant room versus virtually staged room. So it does show sort of size, scale, how to use the space. Another important element is, just as we would with our in-person staging, we do cater the design and curate a look specific to a demographic. So we wouldn't put, traditional furnishings in a very urban type of setting.
Okay, so this one here is, this is a home that Krista and I staged a little while ago. So it's real life staging on the left. And then we took the same home, took the empty room photo and virtually staged it on the right. So you can kind of see the difference. If you look closely enough, you might see the difference. You might notice some things, but for the most part, it depicts the size of the room, the scale of the room, the scale of the furniture that can fit in there. And that's really what we're trying to achieve, to show people that yes, you can fit a couch and a chair and a coffee table and so forth in this room. And here's the layout that we would suggest you do.
One other thing to note here as well is that the picture on the left was professionally shot, and the picture on the right was shot with one of our smartphones. It was shot with an iPhone. And so we just did some edits in terms of lighting.
All right.
What? What?
If we can just ask if everybody can mute their microphones, please. Thank you so much.
Okay, so how does it work? How do you get your photos virtually staged? So you can send us your images. Obviously, if we're photographing the space, then you don't have to send us your images. We would have them. The recommendation is to shoot with a DSLR camera if available. So wide angle lens between 15 and 18 millimeters is the best one to shoot with. And the ideal size is somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 pixels. But we can work with various sizes and smartphones, as Krista had just mentioned. We have worked with some smartphone photos, and we're doing the best we can with those photos. When you're taking the photos, it should be between 4.5 and 5.5 feet off the ground. And we need 2 perpendicular walls in each of the shots. So getting as much of the room as possible. It's really important to get some of the ceiling and some of the flooring in. 3 walls is even better. When we have all of that, then when we're calibrating those photos, we can actually place furniture appropriately. And we're going to show you an example of a good shot and a bad shot. And then you would share via Dropbox, WeTransfer, Google Drive, whatever. We can work with you on how to share those photos with us.
Okay, so here is that same room. Again, shot with a smartphone. And this is an optimal photo, so we can very easily work with this. What we would do first is we would edit out the lighting. However, the lighting overall is fairly good to begin with. We're seeing a minimum of 2 walls. Here we've got 3. The camera height is good. We're kind of centered right within that room. And we've got a little bit of the ceiling and a little bit of the floor, or a lot of the floor in this photo. Compared to this photo, same room, we've got only 1 wall. So this is going to be really tough to stage. All you're going to basically see is a sofa and an end table. It's poorly lit, and we don't have any of the ceiling in, so we really can't get much perspective on the size of that room.
All right, when we're talking about pricing, so pricing, this is for virtually staging. So we're not talking about editing rooms. We're not talking about changing wall color, flooring, light fixtures, that sort of thing. We're going to get into that in a minute. So it ranges anywhere from 3 images up to 10 images. So 3 images is about $55 per image, $165. And that when we say it includes 1 edit, what we mean is editing the existing, what we have staged with. It's not editing the room color and so forth.
We're going to change that to say 1 adjustment.
Yeah.
So if you could just pretend that says adjustment, it might make it a little more sense for you.
Yeah. And then right up to 10 images. So that's $400. So it obviously goes down to $40 an image. And that includes one adjustment per image. So a single image redo, what does that mean? If you one of those rooms, you say, I want everything changed out in terms of furniture, and that hasn't happened so far, and we hope that you take our recommendations as interior designers, and we're going to put our best foot forward. But a single image redo is $60 per image.
Okay, so determining your editing requirements. This essentially, we can make recommendations to you on what we feel needs to be edited. If we are doing the photographs ourselves for you, then it's quite easy for us to let you know what editing requirements you'll need. If you are submitting your own photos, or if you have your own photographer's photos being submitted, we can discuss what editing requirements might be needed, whether that be removing of furniture in the room, wall color changes, you saw wall paneling, so things like that, paneling removal, floor changes, light upgrades, things like that. There is an additional fee for editing, obviously, as this requires a lot more time. So editing prior to staging is anywhere from $35 to $65 per image, and it really depends on the scope of the edits. If they're really minor edits, then it doesn't take a lot of time. We can also offer you, this is great for your exterior shots, is blue sky, green grass, especially at this time of year when we have some really dreary days and you really want to make that pop. And that's $10 per image. And for those really special, unique homes, some just look beautiful at twilight. And so we can convert your home photographed during the day into a twilight conversion, and that's $35 per image.
So this is an example of a room that we could not virtually stage. There's too much furnishings. We're not seeing enough of the wall and floor space in this. Poor lighting. The photo is somewhat blurry. And then the next one is, oh, did we miss one?
Yeah, well, that's okay.
All right.
So that just gives you an idea of we have to be able to work with the room. So this is an example of a pre-edit, and we showed you this one before. This one we converted into an office. So this was the original shot provided to us from the photographer. And here it is post-edit prior to being staged. So wall color changed, lighting changed, and that's it.
Okay, so getting into the virtual tours. So we have the ability to take the photos and dump them into a virtual tour, and we're going to get into some of the, we're going to show you a virtual tour, and all of the value adds in our virtual tours. All virtually staged images and the originals can be turned into a virtual tour, and then you'll have branded and unbranded tours for your MLS sites. And the virtual tours are $60 per tour.
And they come with a lot of really cool features. And we're going to show you an example of what a tour will look like. And please keep in mind, we've just used very generic brokerage information, but we can brand this to your brokerage and also to your own branding.
Whoops, sorry about that.
Sorry, bear with us here as we have some technical difficulties.
So you can see this particular, let me see if I can expand this out here. Okay. It's put to music, and there are a number of different, I can't remember, probably 30 different musical styles. And all of these are some of the photos that you've seen before. So we show it pre-stage and then after stage.
And again, that's we believe the ethical thing to do. You know, there are some agents that what they do with a virtual stage is they take that virtual photograph and they have it printed and mounted onto a board that sits on an easel in each room. And so as potential buyers walk through the home, we know they're serious at this point, they can see those virtual photos, and then they're standing in that room and imagining how that might be set up.
And one of the things that we haven't mentioned is, and I can't remember if it's coming up in this presentation, but we now are doing floor plans as well. And we can put the floor plan into this virtual tour and put a hotspot on it. And when they click on the hotspot, they come to the photo of the particular room. Our virtual tours are $130. Sorry, our floor plans are $130. And we scan all levels, so basement, main level, upper level, whatever that is. Okay, so that's the tour. All right. Apparently, it's still playing in the background. Give me a second here.
Okay,
There we go. All right. Carrying on. Okay.
Okay, so with your virtual tours, here's a list of some of the things that are included. There's quite a bit included, and there are some additional add-ons should you choose to go that route. So just as Kelly had mentioned, there's the virtual tour link, which can be for your unbranded MLS listing or for your custom site. We have all of the property information that gets posted to the tour, including maps, satellites, cities, school data, tons of music options. We can brand it to your brokerage or your own branding. There's also boost marketing. And what this is you receive weekly deep statistic sellers reports. And this is pretty interesting, actually. It gets very specific on the results, and on-demand tour traffic reports as well. It even lets you know specific images, what specific photos got the most traction, because people will go back to specific images. And ones that maybe didn't get a lot of traction, this is sort of a good indication that, you know, there could be something up when it comes to those specific rooms. We can also offer you some seamless panoramic scenes when we take the photographs. So it gives you a nice 360 of the room. And then some additional add-ons, like we talked about, blue sky, green grass. There's twilight conversions as well. We can create a single property website for your properties with their own website address. And then there's an exposure engine add-on. And this is great for lead capture. So this lets you capture any potential leads that land on that site that you can follow up with. Your QR code, and also a video MP4 upload to YouTube. And that we know how important video is in this day and age. So with that exposure engine, it includes that as well. Floor plans, we have a one-page flyer or a feature sheet. Voiceover narration, so whether that's your own voice or ours, we can do that narration for you based on your own script. Astro Zoom and property lines. So a lot of options.
And then our real estate photography packages. So up to 30 stills, it's $150. And that's the silver package. The gold package is the same number of stills, but it includes the virtual tour. Virtual tour on its own is $60. If you already have images and you want to give the images to us for the virtual tour, we can upload them into a virtual tour. But if we're doing the photos and virtual tour together, it's $200. The platinum package is up to 30 stills, a virtual tour, and 3 panoramics. So 360 degree photos. The add-ons, if you want more pano images, are $15 per image. Blue sky, green grass is $10. And then 5 still images is $10. And the twilight conversion, as we had talked about before, is $35.
And then here's a little overview on your lead times, on what you can expect to see in terms of turnaround. So on the photography side, you can expect to have your photos within 1 to 2 days. Regarding the editing, so this becomes any edits needed in order for us to do the staging. So that could mean furniture removal, wall color changes, flooring changes, etc. That could be around 2 to 3 days, and it really varies on the scope, how many photos, and how much editing is required. The virtual staging itself is 2 to 3 days. Typically, we aim for 48 hours. We understand that the faster we can get this to you, the better for everybody. We want your listing to go up as quickly as it can. So we do try to get there as fast as we can. And then the virtual tour, this is done in conjunction with the virtual staging. So essentially, once that virtual staging is done, or if you don't require virtual staging and it's just the photography, we can get that into the tour pretty much right away. So when you're looking at that full, if it's the full package you're looking for, it could take anywhere from 5 to 8 days in total.
So investment strategies, we get asked this a fair bit from our realtor partners, and we see all kinds of different scenarios. So consultation, whether it's in person or a virtual consultation, in I think almost every case we've seen, the agent typically pays for the consultation. That's that $230 for up to 2 hours of whether it's in person or virtual.
And then for the photography portion, we find most of the time this is also something that the agent typically pays for, and we understand that this varies, obviously from client to client. But again, this is just going by majority of what we see.
And the showcasing, whether it's in person or virtual, this is what showcasing refers to staging. In some cases, the homeowner pays 100%. Some cases, the agent pays 100% upfront or on close. We've seen a 50-50 split. We've seen a fixed contribution. For instance, an agent may say, I'm going to cover $1,500 of the stage, and then you pay the rest, homeowner. And then we've also seen a commission reduction. So all kinds of different strategies that can be used.
So this is just, we're just going to show you a few examples of our work in terms of the staging. When it comes to the hands-on staging, the same principles that we use for in-person hands-on staging are the same principles we use when we do the virtual staging. So in this instance, we're talking about color and the need to sort of brighten up that room. And we understand that not everybody can do that. Not everybody either has the budget to paint or the budget to pay for editing. So, but this just shows you the transformation with color.
And this one here is about balance. So especially when we're photographing a room, we like to make sure that we have balance. And so this room really screamed that it needed balance. And so that's what we did. We balanced out the room with identical sofas on either side and artwork and lamps.
And for this room, it's about scale and proportion. So ensuring that we're putting the right scaled furniture into a specific size of a room. In this instance, clients had beautiful taste. The sofa was just too big for the room. So we had them remove it. We laid the furnishings out a little differently, removed the window covering, and upgraded the light fixture. And the room just feels a little bit more open and spacious.
This is an example of property specifics. This was a very young family. It was a starter home, and we felt that we needed to stage it according to that demographic. And so this is a living room, dining room combination and this is how this family was utilizing the space that worked best for them. But in staging, we felt that it needed really to be broken down into the two separate zones. So we did convert that dining room back to a dining room and living room back to a living room.
And made sure the furnishings matched the demographic, that it was that sort of younger, a little bit more fun kind of starter home feel. And this one's about focal point. So this was the focal point of the room. TV in front of the fireplace insert worked for their daily living, not so much for sale. So we had them remove the TV, did some painting on that brick to brighten up that room, one light fixture upgrade, and brought in some furnishings to complement the room. And with some pops of color, which is quite important.
Vacant versus showcase, or vacant versus staged. So vacant rooms always look smaller than they actually are. People don't have there's no perspective on what size furniture can I actually fit in that room. So when we showcase, it shows the true scale of the true size of the room.
And there we are, just some pops of color.
So professional real estate photography and virtual tours, we've already kind of touched on that. We've already shown this to you. And And we like to say that professional home staging and photography with design to sell will always be less expensive than your first price reduction. So putting our best foot forward initially and making that really positive first impression will get the property sold. All right, and here's how to stay in touch with us, how to contact us if you need to. We're going to open it up now. If anyone has any questions, we're happy to answer them for you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Would you be able to send us the slides with your specifics, all the points and your pricing package? Would you be able to email those to us?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
We absolutely can. You can share
I
that.
can only write so fast.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Absolutely. So you're interested in the all the pricing and what the virtual tour entails, that kind of thing. Those
Yeah,
slides.
that whole kit. That would be great.
Do we have Darlene in the house?
From drawer? No.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, hi, Darlene.
Hi.
Darlene, would you like us to send you a recorded copy of this, or
That would be, no, that would absolutely work perfect, and then we can put it out to the membership.
Okay. All right. So we'll do that. And then we can also share the slides with all that information as well.
Thank you so
Super.
much.
Our pleasure.
Now, do we need that email address?
And by the way, we're not Michael Ball.
Yeah.
We are Kelly and Krista. We're just realizing we're coming up as Michael Ball because we're using another account right now.
It's my husband's account. It's my husband's Zoom account. So
Not to confuse anybody.
not to confuse anybody. Do we need the email address for the agent who just
Was it Marcia who asked?
Yeah, and I just sent you my email address through private chat.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
Okay, that's great.
That's great.
And if
Thank
anybody
you.
else would like the slides as well, so we'll send them directly to you, but we'll also send them to Darlene. And so if that works with you, Darlene, and then or you can contact us, whichever works.
And just as an FYI for everybody, our extension on our email and website is .co. It's not .com. That has not been a typo. A lot of people think it might be .ca or .com, but it's .co
for company.
for company.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other questions at all? Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, it was such a pleasure presenting to you all. Oh, wait, sorry. We see, please send me pricing. Yes, Sandra, we definitely will. So please feel free to reach out to us. We'd be happy to chat, whether that's over the phone or virtually over a Zoom call. If there's no other questions, then
we will
wrap this up and let you get on with your very busy day.
Thanks, Kelly and Krista.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much.
Everybody take care and keep
Thanks
well.
for joining.
Stay safe.
Yes,
Yes,
you
you
too.
too.